No.1 Sentai Gozyuger vs. Zenkaiger vs. Gokaiger, Part 1. The story starts at Cafe Half-Century by morning, where we see Horu sleeping, but wearing headphones, until he wakes up in a heart attack when Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You song plays loudly, revealed to be his 4 teammates of the Gozyugers who did this kind of prank by putting headphones to Horu's ears, as they reveal that it's time for the first day of November, which means bringing in the Christmas spirits, and that they plan to go Christmas shopping right now. Horu gets ticked off and says that Christmas is not until December and he isn't going. However, he was forced by them, including Saori, to get into those early spirits to take a break from Briden's attack. The 5 arrive at the mall where they encounter Mashiro, who came here to get into the early Christmas spirit as well, and seeing Horu not in a good mood causes Mashiro's partner Bear Kumago to give him a fee of $50 million if he continues to be like that. Horu has no choice but to do it by being happy throughout this shopping day. The bride and generals, Fire Candle, Bouquet, and the fusion couple, Mr. Shining Knife and Mrs. Sweet Cake, also arrive to have a little break to experience this early Christmas shopping is all about in November, never expecting to encounter the Gozyugers as well, as the 2 enemies decide to just enjoy their shopping without any fighting and interruptions. A few minutes later, the 2 groups went to a sit-down restaurant to get some lunch now that their shopping is over. They're about to eat their own meals until an explosion occurs that breaks through the mall's walls, ruining their lunch. Out of the wall are multiple foot soldiers from previous Super Sentai shows as those grunts attack the people, prompting the Gozyugers and Briden generals to take them out and wonder if another member of Clytus, the Calamity, has appeared to avenge both Pestis and Bellum, while the 3 generals will take the horde somewhere else to allow the Gozyugers to find the person responsible for this. Those 6 beasts transform and battle the horde. During that, a portal appears from above, sending out a person landing on Gozu Wolf, collapsing him to the ground. That person gets up and sees Gozu Wolf's helmet that made the former recognize him as the one who broke the person's mind control from that No.1 Super Sentai maniac in the universe. The others are confused on what that person said but do know the maniac name from someone. Just then the 4 Kikainoids, the Goldsuiker siblings, and Sechin also appear from the portal, where they landed safely and see the commotion on why they're sent here. However, another portal appears, but this time sending out the 6 pirates along with Navi. As the 6 beasts think this just gets more weird than ever, after seeing what's going on, the Zenkaigers, Zox, and the Gokaigers transformed, perform their roll call, and attack the foot soldiers to help the 6 beasts, who the first 5 are shocked to find out that person, Kaido as Zenkaiger, is the one to get brainwashed along with the 3 Reds by that Super Sentai maniac he mentioned, and that they remember this back then, as Gaja Leon have broke him from that spell, and wonder if that maniac is back but disbelieved to have those powers to be part of the Calamity, much to Polar's confusement on what his teammates are talking about, to which they would explain to him later, as the 6 now help their predecessors to defeat the Horde, while Sechin and Navi cheer them on while interacting with each other that they've got separated from their own dimensions, as Navi doesn't know Sechin back then. This also happens to Zenkaiger when Gokaiger doesn't know who the former and his team are, but does get ticked off that Gokaiger has pirated the Red Ranger and his crew's designs, leading this to a complete mystery as to why pulling those teams away from their own dimensions. After defeating the Horde, the 18 Rangers get confronted by a familiar foe entering the fray, to which Gokaiger finds out to be Bosco Tajo Lokia, who explains that he was resurrected by a crow monster to help the latter achieve his goals if Bosco serve him, which the pirate trader accepts, pulling out his mobilates, now have a keyhole, and his own ranger key to transform into a crimson Gokaiger known as Gokai Killer, as he got those powers from that monster to attack the 3 teams, including the Gozyugers, who find out that Crow Monster as a Super Sentai maniac was brought back to life. But how? Using the villain counterparts of the Ranger keys that he also got from that maniac, Gokai Killer Gokai changes into Hawkeizer, Bio Hunter Silva, and Juzo as advantage, wounding those 3 Sentai. Just then, Pestis and Bellum arrive to aid Bosco as a way to avenge their master Clytus, much to the six beasts' horror that they have defeated them back then. Not only that, Super Zenkaiger appears to confront the original Zenkaiger and his friends. As the White Ranger was shocked that God, Super Zenkaiger, has not fully turned over a new leaf and asks if he's planning to seal the parallel worlds to his collection again as a reason pulling the two Sentai away from their worlds, which that God says that he has no intentions from the normal self as he only serves the maniac to achieve his desires, which God accepts to this, who he reveals is another form that he received from that maniac to take down the three Sentai as well. After the four villains defeated those teams to de-transformed, a mysterious crow figure approaches them, revealing himself as the mastermind to make the Gozyugers pay for ruining his desire to become the one and only Super Sentai fan, Tsukamoto Kai's. He reveals that after he was killed by the Gozyugers when invading Jiroso, he was sent not in hell, but in a dark dimension where a giant dark being tells Tsukamoto that the latter will be granted newfound abilities for a strike back to have everything to himself from those living beings. Tsukamoto obviously accepted this and prepared his chance for a all-out strike back assault on the Gozyugers dimension. In doing that, he decided to pull away the Zenkagers and Gokaigers from their own dimensions to the Gozyugers in like a three-way anniversary team meeting of using the powers of Super Sentai, as this explains how Zenkagers and Gokaiger don't get recognized by the Gokaigers. Tsukamoto reveals with those newfound abilities he revived the monsters from Super Sentai series he obviously knows about and created a clone of God to trick the Zenkagers into thinking he once again turned over the dark side. Tsukamoto reveals his goal of becoming the universe's #1 maniac of not only Super Sentai, but everything, owning those rights for himself and not from people and companies like Toei, and that the Super Sentai cannot stop him once he's finished them off and become his playthings to wipe out the entire humanity. A mysterious voice calls out that it will not happen, as Tsukamoto gets blasted at the chest by a Red Ranger wielding the Gokai gun. It wasn't Gokai Red, who smiles at what he and his crew see, as that ranger with the 50th emblem and a belt of a L reveals himself as Aka Red. However, he didn't come alone.